Hey, how's it going everyone? Tazen here, and we have gotten some awesome new information regarding Kingdom Hearts 3 at TGS 2018, in particular to a recent TGS stage event where we found out more information about the characters and the game, and many things that I really want to go over. So courtesy of both Gematsu and Siliconero, we've got some articles summarizing the event in English, and I really want to go over the first reveal, and that was a boss battle footage of Aqua, and we found out that it was Aqua versus Sora, not Riku. Now this really has me wondering, like, what is going on? What happened in the events between Riku and Mickey coming across Aqua, and then also Sora coming to fight Aqua? You know, is there a connection to Destiny Islands when Sora finds Master Ericus's Keyblade, which may be Aqua sent off to be found by Sora or others before she either succumbed to Xehanort through whatever methods, or whatever happened to Aqua. So this is interesting to find out. Now it's really awesome because we found out more information about what will happen to Kingdom Hearts after Kingdom Hearts 3. So as we've already known for a long time now, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be the conclusion of the Xehanort saga, also known as the Dark Seeker saga. But Nomura has mentioned several times that it will not be the end of the Kingdom Hearts story. What is great that we got to find out here is Nomura said that he wants to continue Sora's story. So that's awesome. Sora will still have an involvement, whether that is a primary involvement or a large involvement in the story going forward after Kingdom Hearts 3. Now going to some more news, we've got some information regarding the Gummi Ships. So it was made by a team of about 20 to 30 people, and there are two modes. So we've got exploration mode and we've got cardboard mode. So exploration mode is this open world exploration in a vast sort of cosmos, and then cardboard mode is where cardboard gems, sweets and other things appear as materials for Gummi Ship customization. Be interesting to sort of see more of this and sort of how it all works, but that's cool because Gummi Ships was always something that I felt like was not something that we always thought of primarily in Kingdom Hearts, but it was always fun in some degree. And if they're making something like an exploration mode where there's some form of exploration and maybe there are some quite good things you can get from these modes, I think that would be awesome. Now they also mentioned that there is going to be more than 20 minigames. That's cool. Hopefully these are not too challenging in regards to like getting some of the trophies, because I know there have been in previous ones. For example, Birth by Sleep, there were some challenging ones there, but overall they're quite fun and they're a good unique addition. Now going over something in regards to the secret movie. So as you all know, with almost basically all of the Kingdom Hearts game, there's been some form of a secret movie, whether that be something that is somewhat easy to unlock depending on whether you do a harder difficulty, or requires some extra work in regards to completing the journal, defeating certain bosses in order to get that ending that you want to see. Now what they've said is they're looking into different means of implementing this into the game, basically to reduce spoilers. So they said one way is, instead of making it more difficult, they may implement it into the game at a later date, for example releasing it as a DLC. That's interesting, you know, I think that's okay because we're getting a complete game and package, and then they're introducing something that will tease the next saga after the Xehanort saga, hopefully. So again, we'll find out more obviously once the game gets released, but yeah, that's awesome. And they've also discussed about online elements as something that they are considering, but they will look into doing this after the main game has been released. We also found out that there will be more than 10 worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think that is awesome. So Tai Yasui confirmed this, and that's fantastic because I think even just getting 10 worlds, especially looking at the scope and scale of them, I think this game is obviously going to be huge, and they've previously discussed, you know, gameplay length, etc. And I think this is perfect. We've been waiting a long time for this. This is a big story. This is a culmination of many intertwining story arcs that are all connected, and we're getting the conclusion of them all, hopefully. So again, that is awesome. Now, going on to what we found out regarding the characters. So we actually got the ages for several of the characters in the game. So firstly, we found out that Terra is around 20 years old, Aqua is around 18 years old, Ventus is around 16 years old. Now young Xehanort is in his late teens to early 20s, so around between 18 and 20 years old. But Master Xehanort himself is in his 80s. This is interesting. So firstly, in regards to the age of these characters, excluding young Xehanort, it's tricky because these characters have been through many things in the past 10 to 12 years that have somewhat affected their age. So for example, Aqua's been in the realm of darkness where time flows differently to outside of it. So although about 12 years have now passed, Aqua has only potentially aged several months, if a year or so. So it's interesting, does that mean Aqua was then around 17 during birth by sleep? But then we're looking at Terra, 20 years old. So in regards to what happened to his body at the end of birth by sleep and how it's basically been a vessel for Xehanort for the past 10 to 12 years. You know, obviously, was his body aging during that time that it was being used? And then we have Ventus, who's 16 years old, and as we know, his heart has been in Sora's for the past decade, so his body has basically been in a form of a stasis. But it's interesting because, you know, we've learned from Union Cross and Unchained Key that Ventus was one of the dandelions, so it's interesting to find out, you know, what is going on with Ventus and his age, and, you know, what could contribute to him being in the series so long in the past and yet still be 16. You know, it was in certain realms where obviously with the time difference, it just happened to be that he's still very young at the beginning of birth by sleep. We don't know much about his past before Xehanort extracted the darkness from his heart. So again, hopefully we find out more about Ventus's role in the entire Kingdom Hearts series as this unfolds, or after Kingdom Hearts 3 also. And then going on to Master Xehanort. So again, his body, he's been using other bodies as a vessel for the past decade. So in terms of him being in his mid-80s, would that mean, given Terra, Aqua and Ventus, their ages are represented at somewhat what they were in birth by sleep, does that mean Xehanort's mid-80s age is meaning that was also how old he was around birth by sleep? Or was he in his mid-70s then? Or is it possible that Xehanort would have been in his mid-90s if he was still in his same body throughout the entire time? And it's tricky to sort of interpret this because according to the scene of young Ericus and young Xehanort, they look somewhat similar in age, but birth by sleep, Master Ericus did not look like he was in his mid-80s. So then that makes me wonder, was Master Xehanort in his mid-70s then? Because Master Ericus looked a lot younger than being in his mid-80s then. But again, because Master Xehanort hasn't been using his body for the past decade or so, you know, it would sort of allude to that Master Ericus was actually in his 80s around that time, or somewhat similar age to Master Xehanort. So again, this is all tricky to sort of interpret in its entirety. But moving on to some more news and some final news regarding Utada Hikaru's opening theme song for Kingdom Hearts 3. So it turns out it is not going to be Don't Think Twice, also known as Chikai in the Japanese version. That's actually going to be the ending song. But instead, the opening theme song is going to be produced by Utada Hikaru in collaboration with Skrillex and Pooh Bear. This is really interesting. So Skrillex and Pooh Bear have collaborated before, but this is the first time they're both collaborating with Utada Hikaru. We've seen some communication between Utada Hikaru and Skrillex on Twitter in the past, but again, this is awesome to actually see this collaboration. Now again, when I say awesome, some people might be like, but I think it's one of those things we have to hear the song before we can sort of make that huge interpretation of whether it's good or not. Again, this song is meant to fit in theme with Kingdom Hearts, so I doubt this is going to be some heavy dubstep song or something that basically won't be in tune with what we envision as a song for Kingdom Hearts 3's opening. So I think, you know, I have trust in them, and I think this will be something that will be interesting to listen to. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. There's some more awesome news Kingdom Hearts 3 information. Anyways, let me know your thoughts below on any of these. We've got a lot more information otherwise, specifically in regards to merchandise, etc. So I might do a video going over some of the merchandise, specifically like the Bring Arts figures, the consoles, some of the editions coming out. So yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts on anything discussed. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and until next video, stay spot on.